XCR 375 H&H mag here. This is day 6 of the power grid being down. I will start out saying that past 5 days have been really taxing and tiring. Wife is still sending off her email messages through the Spot device to her parents every day, and asking me, "Do you think they got it? Do you think they got it?" I don't know. I don't know what the situation is with the other countries in the world, if they're coming back up online. Other countries are not as heavily intertwined as the United States is. So, mood, it's just her and I here, tired. Um, Definitely tension in the air. You can feel it through the block. You can feel it through the neighbors. Neighborhood seems to be kind of coming together. I see people walking the 2 streets over our street too. We've have it somewhat blocked off. Uh, my one neighbor who's retired and keeps the eye on everybody's houses and so forth. Who, great lady. She knows everybody, so she's been talking to them too, and I've been talking to her. And we pretty much all have the same question: when is the power coming back on? I don't say much to her because about that topic. Because I know it's not going to be coming back on for a very long time. Um, I did see a Southern California Edison truck weave its way up our street and spoke to the guy, the Southern California Edison technician, and I have a telephone pole in my backyard that has a transformer on it. And he wanted to go ahead and take a look at it. I said, sure. And I got to talking to him. I said, so what's going on out there? And he basically, in a nutshell, said that I should keep this kind of to myself, that the grid is really fucked up, is his correct terminology. And he said it's going to take some time to get these things repaired, and he's just out here doing the neighborhood, looking at the transformers and stuff to see what's good and what's bad, and taking a preliminary report. And he pretty much said that it was a cascading effect of what happened. It hit, and sections of the country just poof, shut down. So it's not good. And he said I should not spread that around or tell too many people because of it. And otherwise, he just doesn't know when the grid's coming back online. He says they don't have enough parts and transformers and wire and cable and stuff in stock to fix everything at once. And he did his evaluation. He said the transformer attached to the pole that's in my yard and looks good. So that's good news. So we know that the transformer in my yard, when it comes back online, shouldn't explode, hopefully. Should not. Anyway, another bit of news. A buddy that lives in my neighborhood, he rode his bike over, and his vehicle's not working at all. And he knows some people in the police department, and they've dropped by his house. And basically, the news is not very good. Pretty much all the supermarkets and the Targets and so forth have been raided, which is what I suspected and saw myself and hear on the radio and the scanners. And his buddy that's on the police force said about half of the officers haven't shown, and the half that are there have withdrawn to the city hall and police headquarters, which is attached to it also, and they're trying to hold on to the government buildings. He says there's looters, and he says if it's just not very good. And he said he and his dad are doing well. and they've got water on hand. They got food. I don't know how much food and water they have on hand. You know, he says they're holding up okay. Says his dad's car is working fine, but they're, holding on to as much gas as they possibly can. So I don't know. He seemed a little rattled. Um, I asked him, how he's doing on ammo and stuff like that. He said he's a little short, so I gave him uh, some shotgun ammo for a shotgun, and invited him in and had some food with him and just chatted it up and uh, basically said he wished he'd listened to me more and put more money into food stocks and so forth and keeping more food on hand just in case something like this happened, whether it be this or an earthquake. But he and his dad are doing well, and I gave him the invitation that if things got to be too bad in his area of the town, that he and his dad are more than welcome to come over here and bring whatever supplies they have with them, and so forth. His dad's really nice, so uh, he served in the military and stuff like that. So good guy to have around, and my friend's a good guy too. I just think this whole entire thing caught a lot of people off guard, and very hard. Uh, so he rode his bike back to his house, and afterwards, but before that, I almost forgot. He and I decided to take a bike ride down to the local National Guard post here, and we stopped on the corner, and oh my God, what we saw was just incredible. The place is just surrounded by people demanding answers, demanding food, and everything like that. And it appeared that there were not a whole lot of National Guard at the post. It looked like they'd already been deployed overseas because all their vehicles were gone, and even their shipping containers were gone, and it looked like a freaking madhouse. It's just crazy, crazy, crazy. We were, way across the corner from it, and we heard one of the National Guard guys come out over the bullhorn saying, "Well, we have no food and we have no water for you here. We're expecting supplies to come in about 3 days. Our equipment's down at the moment, and we have very limited aircraft um, due to the CME taking equipment out." And oh my God, the crowd went crazy. I really thought the fencing and everything was going to cave in. People just went nuts. Um, uh, Man, watching it on TV like the Rodney King beating and stuff of Reginald Denny is one thing, but when you're there and you see the amount of people that are just going crazy and just wanting to pull the chain link fence down and wanting to deliberately do harm on people just out of frustration and expecting help from these people, and they're stuck in the same position that they are. If they don't have food to give to people, I'm sure that they only have their limited amount of MREs on hand too. It's just crazy. So I just saw the guardsmen go inside and close the storm shutters on the post. I Wow. So at that time, my buddy and I, you know, he took off to his house, and I went back to my place. I'm not going to be doing that, very often, much more, going out and exploring. It's just getting crazy out there. Uh, when I got back, my neighbor, she came out and spoke to me, and she said some people in the on the in the block want to set up a kind of like a command post in a person's house in order to coordinate stuff. And some of us have radios, and others don't have radios, and want to begin walking patrols. And people have heard on the radio and the police scanners that things have just gone totally ballistic in Los Angeles, downtown, and in East Los Angeles, and the you know crappy areas of LA have just gone nuts and full on rioting, looting, just crazy. So I broke out my little emergency radio and cranked it up and started listening in and stuff. Another guy came out with his scanner that he keeps in his truck and turned it on, and definitely riots and stuff and looting going on in downtown LA and Watts and just, the crappy areas of LA. Just, it's crazy. Um, I just don't know what to say on this. Um, trash is becoming an issue now. Um, we're either we're going to have to start burning it, and luckily one of my neighbors, he has a construction company, and he has a whole bunch of 55-gallon steel drums, and we're rolling those out, and we're um, going to put those in the middle of the street since it's asphalt and we don't want any places to catch on fire. We're going to roll those out in the middle of the street, stand them up, and use those as burn barrels to get rid of our garbage and trash. It's starting to really pile up. I mean, people are tossing it in the middle of the street, and I was even kind of guilty of this myself. Just throw it in the gray bin, and the trash man will come on Friday and pick it up. Well, he's not coming, so we're sorting our stuff out. The plastics, the paper, and everything like that. And we're just going to have to start burning it because we have to keep sanitation and so forth. Speaking of sanitation, sewer system is starting to fail. It's starting to get, kind of funny, plugged up, as I would say. It's starting to get constipated, and so I should say, my wife and I, we've dug a latrine in the back of our place, about 45 feet away from the main house, and man, sure good. Sure glad I picked up a couple 100 pounds of cat litter when I was at the pet store, because we're going to be needing it, because we've have to stay sanitary and keep the waste away from the house. So not only from using it for the cats, but us too. So, and I think other neighbors are taking that into account also. They're digging their own holes and stuff like that, and using it for the waste. So, um, hygiene. It's been about 4 or 5 days since water's gone off, and we've been having to use filtered purified water for sponge baths, baths, and trying to stay as clean as possible. Hand sanitizer, using the Clorox wipes and stuff for the hands, and using the military style for dishware. 3 buckets, rinse it off, second bucket, then the third bucket. So we're doing our best to keep things clean. Toothpaste, mouthwash, oh man, that is worth so much now. It's unreal. Good dental hygiene is very important. So, what else? Security is going well, and we got more people on patrol. I'm actually surprised that our neighborhood actually is coming together and doing this, and trying to conserve resources. My next door neighbor, she's fantastic. She's really coordinating a lot of this with her neighbors and stuff. She's bilingual, so it really helps a lot. And people are bringing out their barbecues and stuff like that, and we're using one barbecue to heat water and so forth to conserve resources. And so we're not lighting up every single barbecue in every house to boil water and so forth. So we're kind of doing this on the fly. My wife and I have our group and everything like that, but you work with what you have, is what I've been learning here. Just tired. Just been long days and so forth. And I know I've gone through the Newport Beach CERT training program, and I'll be damned if I'm going to wear that green hat and green vest out here right now. Man, that's like a big old bullseye target on my back. So um, people are really coming together on my street. I was really impressed that I offered up one of my barbecues where people can just throw wood or whatever else they need in there to boil water and so forth, and stay clean. Lots of kids on our block and so forth. Um, we've got uh, 2 outposts, LPOPs, on each end of the street to cover each other and to cover the street beyond, and one on top of my house and across the street to cover the other in the middle, just to keep an eye on things. And they all have radios, and we're all on the same frequency now, using the FRS family radio, so it's working well. A lot of people, just have shotguns and so forth, but that's fine. We're kind of worked out a security detail a little bit. I don't want to be overbearing with people and so forth. I know I have a little more training than with other people, but we're trying to, at least pair people up. So, if they have, a bolt rifle or a shotgun, we're trying to pair them up. And we also have a patrol walking between the posts and stuff like that to catch anybody that's trying to come over people's walls and so forth. So we have a rotating patrol, or I should say roving. I'm just really tired. It's been a real crazy 5 days. Haven't heard anything from my group. I don't even know if they made it out or not. I don't even know if their vehicles started whatsoever. My wife and I are where we're at is where we're at. And one more thing about the National Guard. What they said is that they're experiencing delivery problems due to the freeways being plugged up with all the cars and their own vehicles having problems. Some families I know are probably running short on water. So we've begun to we've scouted out the park that has a gigantic pond, or I should say man-made lake in it, about a half a mile away. So we sent some people over there, and they came back and said the park is just full of people, and that they're defecating and pissing in the water and so forth. So that water is definitely contaminated. If it's going to be used, it's going to have to be seriously filtered and purified and boiled. And man, people just don't understand what they're doing when they do that, how it screws everybody up. But they said the park is full of people, and the team that was sent over, if you can call them that, group of people we sent there to take a look at it, said they were too damn afraid to go in there because they were afraid they wouldn't be able to get out, and that they would be, killed. You can definitely tell that there's tension. They did say they saw people drinking out of it, and wow, some people just blow my mind that they're drinking out of a contaminated lake over there, and that they're probably going to die from it. So I don't know. It's just crazy. When we burn our trash, we also, boil water and purify it. So we're using our resources the best we can. Um, but I didn't have the heart to tell my neighbor what the Edison guy said today to me. It's just they know it's not coming back on in 3 days. We hear the governor up there going, stay strong, keep a positive attitude, work together, don't work against each other, and grid should be back up in 3 days, and that's total bullshit. It's not coming back up for a very long time. I don't know. right now it just feels like things are about ready to snap. Like I said, downtown LA, on the radios, on the police scanners, and you know, just not good. And my buddy coming by and telling me what the police are doing now in our city is they're falling back to the government buildings. They're going to try to hold them. Try. It's just crazy. So we've seen cars drive by in the neighborhood. They slow down for the streets and then they speed up when they see that they're blocked, or they see somebody there, or they get spotted with a spotlight. How am I doing? That's the good question. I'm tired. My knees hurt. My ankles hurt. You know what they say, the old injuries from when you're younger catch up to you. Well, they're definitely catching up to you. Stressed. I know what's coming down the pipe. Trying to do my best to work with people around here and get them coordinated. Offering help where I can. How's my wife doing? Kind of funny. She came in and asked me what I'd like to eat or have cooked. And I said, how about a nice big juicy steak? And she said, okay, Mountain House beef stew it is. So at least she's keeping a sense of humor. I don't know if she was being serious or joking about it. She's holding up okay. This is something new for her, that the situation has gotten so serious. She's a very non-confrontational person, so it's going to be interesting the next few days. I don't know. Eventually, she and I are going to have to make our move to leave and try to get to our bug out location. But right now, it's just not safe to do that. We're better off here at the moment. Four walls, fortified backyard, as much as possible. Neighbors that we're also keeping a lookout for on stuff. So, still wish we could have gone, but we got stuck. Is what it was. I know we have enough gas to get there, but it's just going to be right now. The risk is too high. Still, way too many people with the flash mobs going on. So, we have plenty of ammo, plenty of food, and plenty of water. What concerns me though is my neighbors. I don't know if they're got enough water on hand, and going into that park or that man-made lake, which is the main body, is going to be pretty tough. It's going to be pretty hairy. I know there's little rivers that are concreted in. Maybe we can pull water from there, but even then, that's still going to be way contaminated. I don't think we're going to get around that whatsoever. Right now, people are using the water that's in the tank of their toilet and hot water heater and whatever they have on hand. So, not much to report other than that. Ham radio is going crazy of all reports of everybody up the coast. As far as I can reach, it's just big cities are riots and looting and so forth. People are taking pot shots at the cops. People are going around, pretending to be cops, trying to see what they can get, but that's not working. So I mean that's impersonating stuff. I even heard of reports of people impersonating National Guard troops because they have all the uniforms and stuff. And people are just looking for some type of help. Not a whole lot of oh, something I won't forget today. Where my buddy and I were sitting, we looked across the street to the school, and apparently people are just dropping off the dead, people who have died just because of, lack of medicine and their no lack of electricity to run their machines. So the schoolyard looks like it's being used as a temporary morgue. Pretty gruesome, you know. So I don't know. It's going to get bad. I mean, looks like there's some city workers there from the morgue, coroner, or something like that. That's trying to inventory everything and keep things orderly, but he's got a hard job, and eventually they're just going to be left there. So I don't know. Weather-wise, it's in the 70s, cool at night, for the area, in the 50s. So daytime things warm up and so forth, but I don't know. It's tough. It's a tough time right now. I think we'll probably wait another week, then try to make our move down to our bug out location. So our supplies and stuff are loaded in the truck, ready to go. Got a lot of it in the house though still, so we're going to have to address that later. XCR signing off. It's my turn to take patrol down at the south end.